Many people think creativity is a natural talent, when really it is a skill you would always learn about until you die. It must be fun being creative. You get to see cool things people create, but it's not always fun and games. There are moments where burnout can happen. Recently, I have watched a video with the title How to Fix Your Creativity by CL. Go watch the video, it's really insightful. I will link it below and on top. The key point that I got from that video to bring your creativity back is you do it by doodling. As someone who loves learning about art and trying to find ways to improve, my curiosity peaked at this because I feel like I couldn't get any ideas lately. So for this video, I am making this just to show my thoughts about bringing my creativity back by doodling and other things. I have many inspirations that I have up in my sleeves, but I feel like I never get closer to the level of my inspirations, and it's so freaking annoying. So I was like, okay, maybe I should doodle. So I found some time to myself to just doodle around whenever I can. While I was doodling, it started to hit me that I can't draw without Pinterest in my mind. I don't think it's a bad thing because usually I would just use Pinterest during my doodle sessions to develop a style or even try to build a visual library. Like, I have a page of German Shepherds that I found on Pinterest because I just wanted to draw German Shepherds. But by looking at Pinterest, I feel like I limit myself. Sure, I can look at a picture and then put my spark into it, but I feel like I'm not truly using my brain to its fullest. So I started drawing whatever comes out of my brain. I found that drawing on paper was more enjoyable than on my computer. I don't know if it's just me, but depending on where I draw, whether it be my iPad or on paper or on my computer, I get extremely different results. And so I thought the best way to fix it was to just draw on paper. I have had this problem where I would draw and think it's the worst thing ever at the time. But 5 years later, when I look back at it, I think it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever drawn in the world. But why is that? Even if I draw something where my skills were worse than I am now, I still thought it was a good idea. Now, if I try to draw something which I thought was a good idea, I end up hating it at the end. Is it because I'm being too hard on myself? Am I so hyperfixated on it to make it look perfect? Who knows? I've had a bunch of OCs that I made when I was younger. I wasn't a big writer, but I still tried to at least put a story behind them. These days, I can barely make one OC within a year. But I remember making those OCs were one of the most fun times of my drawing journey. So maybe doodling is my solution to bringing back those fun times. I had this sketchbook that I bought back in 2024, but I literally drew one page of it, and it was mostly the animals. The other drawings, I did that a few weeks ago in an attempt to revive the sketchbook. So yeah, I'm not the biggest doodler. I would mostly doodle on my PC because that's where I am most of the time, but I found it hard to doodle on my PC. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I can look at so many things on the internet. It's easy to find pictures and put them all into one thing and try to draw them and then become overwhelmed with all the new information that I have. And also, I feel like I have this feeling that it needs to be perfect when I draw digitally because I can easily access tools that can supplement my drawings. For example, there's 3D figures that I can use. Especially in Clip Studio Paint, I can have a body model to help me draw certain poses. There's also rulers that can help me draw straighter lines or even make a perfect circle. And there's also programs that can help me draw my lines better using a stabilization tool. So I figured I will stick with the good old pen and paper. Maybe I can use a real ruler if I wanted to this time, but it will be mostly me and my brain doing most of the work. While I was drawing, I realized a few things. For starters, I realized that using too many different tools started to make me feel overwhelmed. So, for a page or two, I limited myself to 1 to 3 drawing instruments. So even if my drawing sucks, at least the page looks cohesive at first glance. I also found out that making pages that surround a theme was easier to just think of things. So if you wanted to have a blue theme, there could be many things. You can have the ocean, a vase, a blue toothbrush, maybe even a blue square. I don't know. There could be many things. Next, since I don't want to look at the internet, I decided to look at my art books again and give it some use rather than just having it sit there in my cabinet. It helps reinforce the artists that I look up to and learn about them. There is an archive of art in front of me already, so it's easy to find an art, especially if that particular art isn't uploaded online. I took out my Kim Jung-gi art book, RIP, and I figured that I'd do master studies, which is something I should be doing, but I don't. And with master studies, you basically just study what you think the artist did in order to achieve their final artwork. So I decided to look at Kim Jung-gi's artworks and try to get a feel of his line art. Overall, I found it to be refreshing and fun. I'm drawing for myself and no one else will see it. Well, except the pages that I showed, but you know what I mean. After doing all of those doodles throughout the week, I found so many benefits actually. The process of doodling is not only good for your creativity, but there are many other things that you're doing that you probably don't even realize. First, archiving. I think it's a good idea to doodle because it's like having an archive of your own life. Me personally, I would like a history of myself written before I die. Whether that be drawing or something from my journal, it can be whatever. But maybe it'll be interesting to the person who finds it, who knows. And also, I always enjoy looking back at my art as well. It reminds me of how much progress I have made throughout my journey. Second, it ends my need for perfectionism. By coming to terms with your sketchbook and treat it as a sketch dump, I think life becomes easier. I pretty much gaslight my brain to say if I see paper, then I will draw freely, and I mean freely. And eventually, it does lead me to have better flowing sketches when I actually do draw. So the lines are more fluid, the pose doesn't look stiff, I am at peace. Third, doodling helps me get used to warm-ups. They say that 10 minutes of drawing before actually drawing makes a huge difference, and they weren't lying about that. I feel like I heard of that advice so many times, but I just don't take it because I think that I can do it already, but it really just does help. And sketching isn't hard, it's starting that's the hard part. And fourth, the last thing. This is really specific to just drawing on paper, maybe on tablet if you have a tablet, but doodling can really help practice with real-life drawing and going out a lot. So I mentioned a little bit about Kim Jung-gi earlier. So Kim Jung-gi is a really big artist, and he's someone that I looked up to and helped me really get into the art world. And I went to listen to a lot of his interviews. The way Kim Jung-gi practiced to become this big artist was that he literally did drawings whenever he can.
He would go to the library and observe people looking down at them from the second floor. He observed his brother as he's lying down. He compared the way body parts look from different angles.
So I really enjoy it when cities have a lot of public spaces where people can chill at. For example, like a cafe or a really nice park. And I try to push myself out to go to these places so I can learn how to be chill and just draw. It's especially better than just brain rotting on TikTok, which I really should break out of it, but you know, it's I found that when I looked at my old drawings now, I feel like I had a clearer brain. I started to see mistakes in my old drawings and I fixed them to have a more humility feeling. I did a sketch without a need to feel that everything needs to be rendered. To be honest, it does get hard trying to doodle at times, especially when it's something that's good to do every day. So if you end up being burned out from doodling, it's always okay to take breaks. And the best thing is that there's no pressure when it comes to doodling, at least. I just think making use of your imagination can help a lot though. No references, no nothing, just pure straight from the head. It's like being a kid. And when kids start drawing at a young age, they have like the most craziest ideas ever. And these crazy ideas are the best things. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but I just think a kid's brain is so imaginative because they haven't seen the whole world. This is why I adore movies like Spirited Away, Ratatouille, unironically, or Toy Story. These animators can see the beauty in something that most people wouldn't see. Hopefully this might spark a light if you're a creative that's also in a creative drought. And I will try doodling more. I think it actually made me happy just to sketch something now. But that was my little thoughts about doodling and being vigilant on keeping my creativity up there. So if you guys tried doodling as well, let me know. Maybe even show your works as well. I did make a Discord so that maybe other artists can come join in and we can show our works. So I'll put that in the bio if anyone wants to join. But if you guys have any thoughts, comment down below. And if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe to the channel. I will gladly appreciate any support. And I'll see you guys next video. Thank you and goodbye.